Hi everyone, Dean Mawson here from The Only Way is Ethics. Welcome to episode 9. No guest today, just me. So we're just going to do a roundup of the episodes that have gone previously. It's been absolutely amazing seeing the guests that we've had on and the response we've had to the podcast. Since starting this, it's grown and grown. It's been really exciting actually to sort of look at the guest list and prepare for a lot of the episodes and get the insights from those guests that have been invited on. What we thought was going to be episodes lasting, say, 30 minutes maximum. We've now got episodes that are up to with Adrian, episode 8. Our last instalment was an hour and 30 minutes, which was absolutely fantastic. Each guest that comes on has got so much information to impart, and I really hope that everyone that's been listening in has really enjoyed what we've had to discuss and what we've had to sort of like offer in the way of information as well. So looking back from episode 5 with Clive Flashman, in which really interesting episode talking about safety incidents and the increase in those incidents over the past couple of years, which some of those figures, if you look at them, are quite shocking. In looking at those, posing questions around the challenges of fostering a safety culture in digital health organisations and how we can approach that. And looking at Clive's insights in that, in his role within patient safety learning, and Clive also providing a perspective on the alignment of clinical safety under patient safety within the NHS, and looking at that in light of initiatives within the NHS such as PSERF, and how that's played a part in moving patient safety forward, and asking those questions really around, well, in light of that, how can we learn from those initiatives and apply that to clinical safety in the same manner. So really interesting episode with Clive in relation to that. And then we moved on to episode 6, which is again a really interesting discussion with Leah Parry, CCIO at University Hospital Bristol and Western. Lots of experience within digital health. Leah talking about her experiences in being able to meet the challenges at Gloucester, where she was involved in looking at the implementation and the issues that came about, and investigating into those, and was part of that within that trust, which looks at lessons learned in relation to that implementation, and for Leah to be able to take that forward into Bristol and Western, and the challenges that face that organisation in relation to digital governance, talking about it candidly as well, about the hurdles that she had to overcome, and the essential role that governance plays in making digital transformation a success within that organisation. Leah's intriguing mini disc analogy from a blog that she's put out, and I know she's gone on to do a few more of those as well, and just to articulate her passion about digital health and implementing that within that her organisation. Then we had episode 7 with Shane Tickell, one of my colleagues of old and new. We've just forged forward with partnership with Temple Black, where I'm happy to be part of that team, and we're really hoping to do some great things in that collaboration. But interestingly, in this episode, discussing about data, the integrity of health data and its impact on patient care, harnessing the richness of that data. We've got so much data that we gather and we garner in what we do in our daily practice, and its importance in supporting the healthcare community, and also discussions around the ethical considerations in managing and utilising health information within the sector as well, especially when we're now seeing the advent of AI. Yes, it's been around for quite a while now, but I think it's only with the introduction of the AI Act and the AI Management System ISO that's come in, which is 42001, and looking at those principles, fairness, accountability, transparency as well, and really trying to drive these home so that health organisations have a better understanding in relation to the data and how we're actually applying that. And our last episode that we had, episode 8, one of my favourites, and I really enjoyed doing this episode with Adrian Stabbert-Dobson, who is CEO at Safe Hand Consulting, and I got the opportunity to meet Adrian at HET as well last week, and his team, which was really great to actually get to meet him in person. But another great episode from someone who's been in the sector for many years, has lots of experience in his time, and really told a good story. I mean, his background is quite inspiring, actually, when you look at it, and the interesting conversation and chat that we had around governance, both nationally and locally, and exploring that, asking that question around sort of MHRA and CQC, and should they have any involvement. And it was great to get Adrian's view on that. The role of the clinical safety officer from his perspective, and how that's evolving with the advent of not just taking on clinical risk management and the NHS safety standards in our roles now, but we have DTAC, information security, the medical device regulation, and ISO standards, and where do we sit in relation to that, and the role that we play, and discussion around the NHS safety standards, where they are today, haven't been revised since 2018, and moving those forwards, and looking at Adrian's perspective in relation to that. And then also talking around manufacturers versus health organisations. And when we say versus, it's the ongoing challenges that are raised, that isn't there, in relation to clinical risk management awareness, the need for better communication, and the dynamics between the manufacturer and the health organisations, and how we can support that in the clinical risk management process. So it's been a really interesting few months for us, and with those episodes, and I suppose there's lots of things to take away from those. I've been really surprised looking at the amount of interest in the podcast, which has been absolutely fantastic. When I say surprised, when it was in its infancy, or when we were planning to put the podcast out there, obviously you're worried about the uptake and the amount of people that are actually viewing it. But it's been absolutely fantastic. We've had lots of feedback. So moving forward, what can everyone expect? So we've got lots of great plans. So coming on board with us over the next few episodes, we have Tom Bradshaw, who is a GP from the Leeds area, who is also a clinical safety officer with increasing experience in clinical risk management. So we're bringing Tom in, and he's gonna chat to us about his experiences as a GP, and also as a newly trained clinical safety officer, and how that experience was for him, and giving his perspective and his views on how that's becoming a clinical safety officer, and how that's potentially changed his perspective of digital transformation within the NHS. So really looking forward to that episode, which will be coming out on this Friday. We've also got Ben Jeeves, who will be joining us in late October. Really looking forward to getting Ben in. Ben, CCIO and CSO, and also chair of the Digital Health Clinical Safety Officer Council. So really excited to be sort of posing questions and discussing some topics with Ben. We've got Catherine Corbett, who is a nurse by background with many years experience in digital transformation for Nuffield Healthcare, and also a CSO within the independent sector. Worked with Catherine now for just about a year, and it'll be really good to get Catherine's perspective of that independent sector and the private sector, and the approach taken for clinical risk management. We've also got one of our partners joining us, Brett Marshall, who is founder of Neural Vibe and regulatory compliance consultant specialising in AI, information and cyber security. Really excited with having Brett join us. We've worked together now for a number of years, and it'll be really great to have Brett's contribution in relation to artificial intelligence, and myself and Brett will have some news as well, some exciting news about what's going to be coming up within our partnership, and what we've got to offer in the way of services. Then we have another leader within digital health, Lyndon Johnson, the CEO of Eightfold Governance, and also an ED nurse by background, who's worked his way up through the ranks, becoming a prominent figure within digital health. So again, really excited to speak to Lyndon. We'll be speaking about sort of his support of startups, and his mentorship and his coaching role as well in the digital health sector. And then lastly, we're gonna love welcoming back Kay Reynolds. So I think most of you will know Kay and who she is and how influential she's been, and making great roads within clinical risk management, regulatory compliance, and just in general in digital health. She's been a great support to a lot of people over the past year or so, and it's announcing our Kay will be taking a regular slot on our new CSO Coffee and Chat podcast special, which is called Ethics Unplugged CSO Insights. So we've put a lot of thought into this, and we're taking this opportunity because the CSO Coffee and Chat is an absolutely fantastic forum, which is just growing in membership now. I think Kay is over 450 members, and I think we see neon 100 of those members every month on the Coffee and Chat. And it's a great opportunity for CSOs to air their views, to share their experiences, and to gain information from other experienced CSOs within the sector. So we thought we'd take the opportunity because the Coffee and Chat is only an hour. Okay, and there are lots of unanswered questions or information that people would like to get from the Coffee and Chat. So we put our heads together and thought that it'd be a great idea and a great opportunity to answer a lot of those questions that can't be answered during the Coffee and Chat sessions, and we'd bring it to the podcast. So we'll have myself and Kay, and you'll see that as a regular slot each month, in support of the coffee and chat, and we'll be inviting people in as well to be able to impart and their knowledge and to give us their insights and to answer some of those questions that have gone unanswered during our sessions. So really looking forward to that, and we'd love for everyone to support that as much as possible. And so I'm going to wrap up now. Thank you for listening. This was just an update for us to take forward into the next episode, where we'll have obviously some great guests. Thank you for listening. And for those of you that have missed previous episodes, please go on to either Spotify or YouTube, where you can, subscribe to the channels, and you'll be able to catch up on The Only Way is Ethics. So for all of you out there, have a great rest of your week, and stay tuned for episode 10, where we'll have Tom Bradshaw with us, talking all things digital health. Thank you for your time, guys, and speak to you soon.